So I recently had a conversation where, in that conversation, I exclaimed some short-term goals that I have, right? And then some long-term, and then even some lifelong goals that are a little bit, further along in life. Some things I probably won't achieve till like in my 40s. I'm okay with that, but that's fine. I think it's perfectly normal, perfectly reasonable. I think the journey is far more interesting than the destination anyways. But anyways, in this conversation I was having, this friend, a person I know, something that kind of hit me was that my goals had completely changed from what they were a year and a half ago. For one, I took on more lofty goals. Like, for example, I want to have complete and utter financial freedom by the time I'm in my 40s. And the way I define financial freedom is my time is my time. I don't have to go ahead and go talk to my boss and say, hey boss, can I have these days off? I don't have to schedule with someone who has a massive amount of control over my life, or influence over my life, or control over my livelihood itself. Because like right now, what I'm sitting on is I have financial freedom, but I don't have job freedom. Let me explain. When you work a 9-to-5 job, or 7 to 7, or whatever schedule you work, what that really boils down to is you are losing time every single time you step onto your work site, your job, whatever it is. You lose time. And it's not like you can just be like, man, I've worked really hard over this last, period of this last pay period. I don't really need to work so hard this next pay period. It's not really going to change my financial freedom. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 weeks off. You can't really do that in your typical 9-to-5 type job. You can't. It's not really something that's possible. It's not really something that actually happens in our work culture. You see, what really happens is that your job's going to say, we can't not have you work for 2 weeks, even if you're doing it with no pay. It's such a weird thing. Like, why? Why can't I do that? I wasn't working here, a year ago, and now I'm working here. I've been working. I've worked tons of shifts for you guys. I'm getting paid. You pay me to work a certain amount of time, I work. And sometimes you give me days off with pay, right? But I don't need you to pay me while I'm off. I don't. I just want to take time off. I want to go explore. I want to go live life. I want to go ahead and see the world. And here's the thing. I'm not talking about lavishly, right? I'm not a lavish kind of guy. I've got all my junk in my backseat of my car. This car, I got it for $1,200. I've already put close to a lot of miles on it. It's a good car though. It still drives fine, so I'm glad I have it. But I'm not looking to live a lavish lifestyle. If somebody offers me something that I think is too expensive, it's not worth the cost, I tell them no. I tell them I don't want that. That's not enough for me. The first time I ever went on a cruise, kind of off topic, I'd never done it right, obviously, first time. But I hadn't had a proper, actual, vacation in over 4 years. I just didn't. Never had it. So, when I got to experience actually enjoying my time off, doing whatever I wanted every single day, being able to eat pretty much whatever time I wanted, being able to go sit in a hot tub all day, go to the gym, go work out, sit out in the sun. These things are just so good. And I kind of realized that's kind of all you really want in life for your quality of life. You want to be able to work out, be out in the sunlight, go jump into a cold river, and, be around your loved ones. That's what everyone really, what it all boils down to. That's what it really is. And currently our work culture doesn't really support that. You either have to choose between freedom or you have to choose between security. And that's kind of the problem here, isn't it? You need to have a job, you need to work, and it's not really worth it in my opinion. I'm working because I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I will be able to have absolute financial freedom by the time I hit my 40s. Like, I'll be able to retire. And by retire, I mean I will not have to work. I will be able to do whatever I want for work. I plan on going to college pretty soon here. And it's not going to cost me a dime because of life decisions that I made and sacrifices I made, you know, for others. And that's the reward. That's the wage that I was given for some of those sacrifices I made. Being able to go to college and not have to pay a cent on it. That's something I really appreciate and I plan to take advantage of. And, you know, I plan to be a physical therapist eventually. And, you know, eventually, you know, once that is accomplished, I'm going to have my own study. I'm going to have my own practice. And I'll be able to go ahead and do it whenever I want. I'll be able to go ahead and create my own clientele. And if I decide I want to go ahead and just not work all of a sudden, I can do that. I mean, even if I wasn't going to go to college, I'm still going to have financial freedom. I'm still going to go ahead and not have to work once I hit my 40s. And I'm going to make sure that happens because I'm going to stay on top of my investments. I'm going to stay on top of my frugality. Like, I don't even really track what I spend money on because I spend so little money on everything that it's benign to be even more frugal. Like, I spend money on bottled water when I work. I spend money on electrolytes, and I spend money on gas. Those are like a few things that I spend money on, not including my housing costs and my groceries. I'm spending like very small amounts of money overall on the things that I need to live in life. Last time I bought a shirt was like, no, it was a pair of pants and a shirt. It was like 6 months ago. Like, you don't need to be spending all this money on clothing. You don't need to spend all this money on shoes. You don't need to spend all this money on so many things that you don't even really use. Like, why on earth am I going to spend up to, you know, $500 or $600 or $700 a year on clothing? It's ridiculous. It's silly. Or why am I going to spend so much money on haircuts? I can get a haircut every freaking 6 months. I don't need to get freaking a haircut every damn 2 weeks. It's something you kind of had to deal with in the military. That's why I shaved my head when I was in the military, because I didn't want to waste the money. I didn't want to waste the time. And frankly, I kind of liked having a shaved head. So it's a weird feeling. You wouldn't understand unless you'd ever shaved your head once. It's like a hygienic type feeling. But I mean, you know, really just to go back on to the roots of things and summarize, I value my health, I value my wealth, and I value my freedom. I think health is really a combination of all three of those things. Because here's the thing, if you have poor health, right, you wake up every morning, you're sick, you can't breathe, it's a pain in the ass just to walk up a flight of stairs, then you can't take advantage of your freedom or your wealth. You really can't. And here's the thing, you could be absolutely broke, but if you're as fit as a thistle, if you're as strong as an ox, if you've got your youth, you got things a billionaire would give up everything for to have again. Like, your health is absolutely the most important thing. That's why I'm doing the carnivore diet. That's why I'm looking at what makes me optimally healthy. That's why I go outside and I get sunlight on my back. That's why I go and I do cold plunges. Like, I enjoy those things for the sake of enjoying them as well. But I do have an ulterior motive. And really, I look at it as killing two birds with one stone. You know, that's honestly how I see it and how I view it. That's the whole point, you know? The longer I can live, the more money I can invest. And the more money I invest, the more generational wealth I will have produced by the time I'm in my... And when I say generational wealth, I'm talking about money, so much money that you're no longer a part of the working class. I'm not referring to retiring either. I am saying that I'm going to continue lifelong investments up into my 90s. Okay? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to create generational wealth. And I'm just going to do it by being a hard worker and being a smart worker and knowing when my work is valued and when it's not. Like, so many people do things that they hate, and they do these things for years, for decades, sometimes half a century. Some people work for over 50 years of their life, and that is just mind-boggling to me. I cannot grasp that. I can't. I really cannot. Like, working for 50 years, man? That's wrong. Humans are not meant to live lives like that. Humans, when we do work, we are supposed to do work because we need something, right? We need to go out and eat. We need to go out and get some sun. We need to go out and exercise. Like, we need those things. Those things are part of our physiology. They're part of our psychology. They're part of everything that we do, right? So it makes sense for us to go ahead and do that all of our lives. But what does not make sense is to sit down in a little office cubicle, to sit down at a computer desk, to sit down here and there and just do the most monotonous, repetitive, honestly, pointless tasks. And then you do that stuff for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks out of the year. And pretty much everyone is trying to get you to waste your money on the dumbest things, like bars, alcohol, drugs, fast food, trash food, freaking food that you really couldn't even qualify or call food. Like, what the hell is a Twinkie? How the heck do Twinkies exist? Twinkies are the weirdest freaking thing ever. They are weird. I have this 5-calorie bubbler thing. It's got caffeine in it. I was like, oh yeah, sure. I think I could probably have this on a carnivore diet. I kid you not. After drinking that thing, I wanted to eat carbs and sugars. I had the willpower to say no because I had eaten my dinner and I had like 2 pounds of ground beef and 3 slices of cheese and 3 eggs, prior to that. So I was doing pretty dang good on satiety and appetite. But the urge to eat carbs and sugars just came out of nowhere after drinking this stinking bubbler. And I decided to go and look at the ingredients a little more closely. It's got 7 freaking grams of a sugar alcohol inside of it, and they don't call it a sugar alcohol. They give it some other weird term or name, and they call it natural flavoring. As if that somehow makes it healthy or okay or something that you should be eating or drinking or consuming. It's not. Let's be frank as human beings. There are things that we should not be doing. I'm a firm believer in that. You can say that's dogmatic, you can say that's ritualistic, but I think there's truth to it. Things that humans should not be doing, in my opinion, is sitting. I mean, goodness gracious, sitting is not good for you. Sitting is literally classified as being as bad for you as smoking cigarettes every day for your overall quality of health and how long you are supposed to live. That's insane. You're kidding me. Like, sitting down in this car right now is a problem? Sitting down in this car is bad for me? And then you think about it, holy crap, so many Americans, for the majority of their jobs, they are in the seated position for hours a day. We wonder why everyone has chronic back pains and back health and back problems. We wonder why everyone is, morbidly sick all the time. They just don't understand why. And it's because they've been sitting for 8 hours a freaking day for the last 40 years. Like, hello? Anyone listening? Anyone paying attention? It's insane. And when you really start to look at it all, when you start to think about it, it kind of all adds up. And you're like, oh, so what you're saying is that the game was rigged from the start. Yeah, it kind of is. But there are some highlights. There are some silver linings. There's so much I get to do in this life that I'm so thankful for. And I appreciate being able to go out and live life and enjoy it. I mean, yeah, there's things that I want to change, and yeah, there's things I'd like to be different about my current way of living, but the fact is I'm still thankful, and I'm very grateful, and I've learned the art of enjoying less. The only thing I would change is starting sooner. Honestly, because I really didn't start doing all this stuff until I was 22. Yeah, 22 is when I really started to look into all this stuff and really started to make some changes. But video's getting long, so if you liked the video, feel free to like, feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe. It's your life. You do what you want. You do your own will. That's what I think.